Plank minutes feel longer than normal minutes, and there's actually a reason for that. To understand it, I ran a small experiment on myself. I did a plank every day for 30 days. I started at 23 seconds and finished at 247 seconds. But the most surprising change wasn't in my core strength, it was what happened in my head. On day 1, I set up with my forearms on the floor, body straight, pushing the ground away and keeping a neutral spine. 23 seconds later, I collapsed. For context, I had taken a break from core work for a few months because of a minor lower back tweak, so I wasn't starting from zero, but I wasn't in great shape either. Most beginners fall somewhere between 10 and 30 seconds anyway, and for most people, 2 minutes is already a solid plank. My goal was simple: reach 2 minutes and see what would actually change in 30 days. I decided to plank every day at the same time, 12:30, gradually adding time and tracking everything. One thing became obvious right away: your form breaks before you realize it. I placed a camera to the side on day 1 and saw my hips starting to sag around 18 seconds. I thought I was solid, but I definitely wasn't. So I added a mirror, a 10-second beep to check my position, and a simple tracker. My cues were basic: elbows under shoulders, press the floor away, keep a long spine. Nothing fancy, just consistency. Doing it at the same time every day turned out to matter more than I expected. The first week was a reality check. The first few days moved quickly, jumping from 23 seconds to about 35. For a moment, I thought I might hit 2 minutes by day 15. Then day 4 arrived and proved me wrong. 45 seconds felt genuinely hard. The shaking returned, my hips wanted to drop, and my shoulders kept creeping toward my ears. On day 5, I quit at 32 seconds. No injury, no real reason. I just stopped. That one bothered me. By day 6, I managed 55 seconds, but the last 15 seconds felt longer than the first 40 combined. When effort spikes, your brain slows down your perception of time, and those final seconds stretch forever. That's the hidden mental game inside every plank. Around the 1 minute mark, you basically feel like a coffee table. Please place your cups gently. During the second week, something interesting happened. The 1 minute barrier started to move. I could hold clean form for 75 seconds, sometimes even 90. I wasn't dramatically stronger yet. Something just clicked. My body stopped fighting itself. There was less wasted effort and better coordination. I can't explain it any other way except that I was simply doing the plank less stupidly. The visible shaking most people experience started to calm down around day 12, which made me realize my nervous system just needed about 2 weeks to understand the movement. Soreness showed up early between days 3 and 6, when my deep core muscles were loud and angry, but eventually it faded into the background. Around day 14, however, a new challenge appeared: boredom. Static holds stretch time in a strange way, and minutes start to feel endless. To keep things interesting without breaking the streak, I added jump rope. A heavier rope forced me to brace my core the same way I do during a plank, while a lighter rope helped build rhythm and endurance. Some days I would do 5 minutes of heavy rope before planking. Other days I'd do lighter rope circuits between sets. That small bit of variety made the difference between quitting early and staying consistent. On day 18, I held my first 2-minute plank. But a new bottleneck showed up: my shoulders. Years of desk work had left those stabilizer muscles undertrained, and now they were the weak link. Small adjustments helped a lot. Pressing my forearms into the floor, pushing slightly forward, engaging the serratus muscles, keeping my neck long and ribs down. Tiny changes, big difference. My hip flexors also started to tighten from sitting all day and from the isometric hold, so I added a quick 30-second hip flexor stretch after each plank. That helped more than I expected. By day 21, I could consistently hold past 2 minutes with form that didn't completely fall apart. 2 minutes to 2:30 became normal, and I started noticing improvements in other areas too. Jump rope felt smoother, breathing stayed calmer, and my posture held longer without me thinking about it. Better core stability meant less energy leaking during movement. Everything just felt more connected. By day 26, though, I hit a mental wall. Physically, I was fine, but mentally, I was done. bored, annoyed, and tempted to skip a day and pretend I forgot. This is exactly where most people quit, right before the finish line. What got me through was remembering something I realized earlier. You don't need motivation every day. You need a plan you follow even when you don't feel like it. On day 27, I held 220 even though I didn't want to. Day 29 reached 235 with solid form, and for the first time my mind actually felt quiet during the hold. On day 30, I set everything up the same way as day 1 and started the timer. At 1:30, my shoulders felt steady. At 2:30, the voice in my head said, "That's enough." I stayed anyway. At 2:47, my hips finally started to drop, and I stopped. From 23 seconds to 247 seconds, more than 7 times longer than where I started. Out of curiosity, I tried a stability ball plank afterward. I lasted 2 seconds. Very humbling. Back on the floor, though, I noticed real changes. Bracing my core had become automatic. My everyday posture improved without trying. Breathing and movement during workouts felt smoother. The biggest benefit, surprisingly, was learning to stay calm while uncomfortable. What didn't change was also interesting. My abs didn't suddenly become visible, and there wasn't much muscle growth either. When my form slipped, my lower back reminded me immediately. In the end, the biggest lesson was this. Planks are really a mental exercise disguised as a core drill. Most people don't quit because it burns. They quit because they're bored. Long term, I'll keep planks in my routine 3 or 4 days a week and combine them with more dynamic exercises I actually enjoy. That balance seems to work best.